populated rural areas such as London Colney, there is most definitely issues with the amount of rubbish that gets dropped on the floor. This issue is building up higher and higher and we will soon be drowning in our own litter. This is London Colney's litter complication. Before we look at the litter situation, let's take a look at London Colney's past and how it came about to be one of the biggest villages in Hertfordshire. London Colney was founded in the 13th century, but wasn't called London Colney until the year 1555. The village was named this way as it was literally referred to as Colney on the road to London. The village started to thrive from the 19th century up. The picture on screen now is of the Bull Inn. This place was a popular inn that included a pub on the bottom floor. The inn was based on the edge of the main road which would now lead you down to the hypermarkets. Now on screen you can see the same inn, but it is now just a pub. The inn was changed so that they had more room for the pub, and this pub is constantly visited by heavy drinkers and people out for a meal. However, alongside this comes a lot of litter and dangerous objects such as broken glass being left on the floor. The following clip shows the back of a string of shops. As you can see, even though there are 3 recycling bins dedicated to recycle almost everything that's been put on the floor, people have still left it there and they couldn't be bothered to recycle their rubbish. For the next clip, I was able to get an interview with 6th form student Ben Svarga and ask him what he thinks about the amount of litter on the streets of London Colney. What do you think about the amount of litter on our streets at the moment?
So the amount of litter on our streets, I feel like it's exceeding limits that it shouldn't. I feel like the younger generation doesn't really care about littering and this and that, and they'll just like leave their bottles on the bench or like just throw like wrappers everywhere, and I don't think they realise the real impact it causes.
What do you think is the biggest cause for people littering?
I feel like the biggest cause for people littering is definitely the undereducation of the young people, because sure they might be educated on it causes global warming, causes this, causes that, but they never actually get taught any reasons that matter to them, why they shouldn't, and they don't really see this until they grow up and it's just too late, and then the cycle just continues with then their younger generations, and stuff like that, just continuing to litter.
What could you and other people do to try and decrease the amount of litter that lays on the street?
Well, I mean, you can't just tell everyone, oh yeah, if you see a piece of litter on the floor, pick it up, because that's just not going to happen. That's not a realistic thing. However, that would be the ideal goal of this entire thing. However, I feel like as long as everyone puts their own litter in the bin, then there wouldn't be much litter around, and I feel like that is an achievable goal because there are bins everywhere. There shouldn't be a reason why you shouldn't be able to just put your rubbish in the bin.
In your opinion, is keeping litter off of the streets important?
I feel like keeping litter off of our streets is important because litter just ruins the aesthetics of the street, and you have such nice architecture, especially well, I'd say around here, something like that. But around the world, there's nice architecture and this and that, and you're basically ruining someone else's work, if you're just throwing rubbish on it and this and that, and it also harms the environment. So just don't litter.
Good, thank you. Speaking about the environment, here is another interview that I was able to record where I asked the interviewee Kaisha Isaacs on what she thinks about the correlation between litter and the environment. Do you think that the environment is affected by litter, and if so, how does it affect it?
Some litter rots and causes smells, which can be very dangerous for our environment. It also causes floods, which destroys a lot of habitats and homes.
What are the issues with sea life and litter at the moment?
Litter is often disposed in the sea. That causes lots of pollution, which causes the fish to lose oxygen and therefore dying out.
In your own opinion, what do you think will happen to the environment in the next 5 to 10 years if the litter problem is not corrected?
Diseases will start to break out, animals might become extinct, water sources will decrease, and therefore our Earth will die out.
Thank you.
Well,
After watching this documentary, it should be very clear to see how litter is affecting our environment, not just in London Colney, but also around the world. I hope you've enjoyed this documentary, and I really hope that you take some of this information away with you and do something about the litter situation.